It's NFL Mailbag time here at Chat Sports. Mitchell Renz ready to answer all of your awesome questions. If you're wondering, wait a minute, how can I get my questions featured on your mailbags? You got to join us live Monday, Wednesday, 4 p.m. Eastern Time, 1 p.m. Pacific. The first Super Chat coming in here is from CJ DeYoung. Hey, Mitch. What do you think the chances are the Cowboys upgrade the secondary? Thanks for all the rad vids. P.S. Did you sell me Jets season tickets? I never sold anybody Jets season tickets. I worked at a suite when I used to work at the Jets, but that's probably 5 years ago now. It was an internship. It was in college, trying to pay my way through college. In terms of what are the chances that the Cowboys upgrade the secondary, it's probably more of a question for Tom. Now, do I still think that they could upgrade at the secondary position? Like safety still is a weakness to me. Cornerback still a weakness to me. I think that these are all possibilities. So, like, if there was a chance that they could still go out and get somebody like a Brian Poole, maybe a Steven Nelson, maybe they could trade for somebody like Stephon Gilmore, these are routes that I would go. But Dallas also goes to show that, well, they do what they want. So, we'll see. My caps are on. Oh, you're just trolling me, I think, at this point. Will Kyle Pitts be the focal point on offense? So you're talking about Kyle Pitts, drafted number 4 overall by the Atlanta Falcons, and do I think he's going to be the focal point? I mean, I'm actually going to say maybe. If I had to bet my money, I'm going to go with Calvin Ridley just because he's been on the team a little bit longer. He's going to be the new number 1 wide receiver there once Julio Jones is traded. But, I mean, you also kind of saw the turntables a little bit last year, right? We saw Ridley take that step up. For a long time, he was one of the top receivers in fantasy football. 90 catches, close to 1,400 yards, 9 touchdowns. I mean, he took that next step. So, like, if you're telling me in terms of who do I love on this offense, Ridley and Pitts, I absolutely do. But it's very difficult for a tight end to take that step in year 1. It usually takes a year or 2. But maybe I'm wrong. Let me know. Who's the focal point in the Atlanta offense? If you believe it's going to be Calvin Ridley, I want you to type R. If you think it's going to be Kyle Pitts, go down in the comments section and type P. If you think it's going to be somebody totally different, maybe it's the new running back Mike Davis. Maybe, I don't know. I'll tell you what, though. Mike Davis, he's got some thighs on him. Did you guys see the picture of him and his thighs? Incredible. Skies out, thighs out for Mike Davis. RP or O, if you just want to run the RPO in Atlanta, maybe that's the way to do it. I'm going to go ahead and type my R, though, for Ridley. We got Shanav. What up, my man? Denver getting A-Rod. Also, Mitch, you should shave your head. To shave my head, the only ways that I'm ever going to shave my head is if it's for St. Baldrick's, which is in March, and I actually contemplated doing that for one of my buddies. Or somebody's got to just literally send me the biggest super chat of all time, and I'm allowed to keep it by my bosses here at Chat Sports. In terms of Denver getting A-Rod, I do believe the team that has the best chance to go out and trade for Aaron Rodgers is the Denver Broncos. Another Broncos question coming up here, and if you guys are Broncos fans, check out our channel, youtube.com/Broncos TV. Michael Kerr, Mitch, my guy, what's up? Can the Broncos get Brees or Luck out of retirement and shape Lock up? I mean, if you're just trying to go out and get another quarterback, you might as well just go get Aaron Rodgers. In terms of Andrew Luck, I believe if he's come out of retirement, he is still a member of the Indianapolis Colts. So not only do you have to pursue him to get out of retirement, you also got to trade for Andrew Luck. And then Drew Brees, I mean, let's face it, I like Drew Brees a lot. He's actually one of my favorite quarterbacks of all time. He's kind of washed up at this point right now. So I'm going to say if you want another QB, it's Aaron Rodgers. Jimmy Van Winkler. Who do you think the Cardinals have a better chance of trading for, Ertz or Gilmore? I'm actually probably going to go with Stephon Gilmore here because their bigger need is still the cornerback position. I mean, losing Patrick Peterson, especially to the Minnesota Vikings, like that has to hurt a little bit, right? But if you're Arizona, you have some good younger pieces here. But I'm going to go ahead and say it's Gilmore. The other reason is, like, do they have a need at tight end? Sure they do. But you also have so much talent at the wide receiver position that I don't really think that you need Zach Ertz, where Stephon Gilmore fills the bigger need. So who do y'all think gets traded first out of Gilmore and Ertz? To be honest, I don't even know if Ertz gets traded. He might just outright get cut because they can save some money. Who's going to trade for Ertz's contract? I'm not 100% sure. So for that reason, I'm going to go ahead and type my SG for Stephon Gilmore, and if I was the Arizona Cardinals, I would make the move for Gilmore before I make it for Zach Ertz. A move that literally every single person that's watching our show needs to do right now. You need to go ahead and download the free Newsbreak app. So if you're watching the show on your mobile device, if you tap in chatsports.com/newsbreak, it's going to take you right to the App Store. Then you can download the app, and that way you can stay up to date on literally everything going on in your city. If you're watching on desktop, it's going to take you to, like what the App Store would look like. You can still download the Newsbreak app, but I'm telling you right now, the easiest way to do it is on your mobile device. How do you do it? Chatsports.com/newsbreak. I'll put that link in the comments. It'll also be in the description. So it doesn't matter what city you live in. It doesn't matter what your zip code is. If you want to shout out what city you're in, that way I can look out for the people who actually downloaded this app. I would appreciate that. But here's what you need. If you're looking for weather, obviously, it's important. I was just in Austin, Texas last weekend. I was literally checking my phone all the time on the Newsbreak app to figure out whether or not it was going to rain and whether or not I was going to be able to get my softball tournament in. I got politics, food, pop culture. If you're visiting a city, if you just moved to a city, believe it or not, I like to know the hopping places and where to go. If you want more sports content and if you want more exclusive sports content from Chat Sports, it can all be found on the Newsbreak app. So go tell them that we sent you. How do you do that? By using that link below, chatsports.com/newsbreak. Next question coming up here on NFL Daily, Authentical Football Highlights. Is Xavien Howard going to be an elite cornerback next year? Yes. I mean, the guy had 10 interceptions last year. The real question is, who's the best cornerback on that team, Howard or Byron Jones? Mark Pryor, another Dolphins question here. Who will have the most receiving yards on the Dolphins, Waddle, Parker, Fuller, or Gesicki? If I was a betting man, which I am going to go ahead and go with Devontae Parker because he's been in the offense before, but this could be a legitimate team that has 3, maybe 4 guys over 600 receiving yards, maybe 3 guys over 700 receiving yards, which is a really difficult thing to be able to do. But, I mean, you drafted Waddle early. Parker to me is a stud. Will Fuller's a stud. Gesicki's a stud. I mean, that's 4 very legit players, and if you're talking about your 5th best pass catcher, I mean, that's probably Preston Williams, who was also pretty solid last year. So if you're Tua, you got a good problem to have here. Theo Henry, do you think that if the Bengals should sign Mitchell Schwartz if healthy? I mean, Cincinnati, here's the issue, guys. I don't believe Mitchell Schwartz is healthy. So for me to even go into this question, I'm just going to say no. The back scares the hell out of me. And if you're the Kansas City Chiefs, you saw what happened to you in the Super Bowl, and you still got rid of your left tackle, and you also got rid of your right tackle. And the fact that a guy like Schwartz could potentially still be out there, there's other right tackles that I would go out and get. Like, if you definitely need a right tackle if you're Cincinnati, why not just go out and get Morgan Moses? Or why not go out and look at a guy maybe like a Rick Wagner? Or, there's some other top tackles out there on the market. So I'm personally going to say no on Mitchell Schwartz. So that's the route I personally would go if I was the Bengals. But you definitely need to be able to keep your guy Joe Burrow upright, especially after that wicked ACL injury. What up, Jason? And the position that the Seahawks are in, what do you think they should do? Also, have a good day. Also, keep up the good work. And everybody needs to sub to the channel. I agree with all those things. In terms of the position that the Seahawks are in, I think they do need to find another receiver, at least to be a complement to Lockett and DK Metcalf. I don't know if it's Julio Jones. But they also need to go out and, I think, bring in one of these top cornerbacks, whether that is a Steven Nelson, Richard Sherman, whether it's traded for Stephon Gilmore. The cornerback position is a glaring need still for Seattle. All right, we got Andy Claw. I believe the Dolphins are committed to Tua, but is there a realistic quarterback they would get rid of him for? All right, so I am also with you that I believe that Tua is going to be the quarterback of the future for the Dolphins, that they are committed to him. However, in a scenario where, let's say, like Aaron Rodgers wants to go to the Dolphins, they would have to listen. I also think somebody like Russell Wilson, and I don't really like bringing him up because I don't know all the details on his situation, but Deshaun Watson. I mean, if you're going to move on from Tua, who you drafted number 5 overall in the 2020 draft, you better get somebody a little bit younger. The guy that I believe makes the most sense personally is Deshaun Watson, but that is also pending what exactly happens with some of his off-the-field issues. And now, if you guys love Chat Sports, if you love NFL news, and if you love things that are free, well, hey, look no further. Hit that big red button underneath the video and subscribe. But what I want every single person to do is turn on those notifications, because it's like 18% of the people that subscribe to Chat Sports have their notifications turned on. That number is just way too low. And I don't want you guys to miss anything the entire offseason. So go to your settings app, Scroll down, tap YouTube, tap notifications, and turn on allow notifications. And if that's still not enough, how about this? I'm going to give some shout-outs to some of the people that turn on their noties and comment first on some of our upcoming videos here. But the people that commented first on our past 5 videos on our YouTube channel, Jacob Moore, Julian Ocampo, Jeff Fumal, Mariners fan, and then Meet the McCains. So shout out to you, and if you want to see your name featured on a show coming up soon, turn on those notifications. We got Bronco Brady. Should Denver trade for the Cowboys' Leighton Vander Esch? So I think it's funny because for whatever reason, there's been a lot of articles around Denver trading for Cowboys linebackers. There was one around Jalen Smith. Now there's one around Leighton Vander Esch. I'm going to go ahead and say no. I just don't trust Vander Esch, and I don't trust Jalen Smith. Really their longevity, and I don't really trust their ability to really be able to cover and take that next step in what you're hoping a linebacker can be in today's NFL. If you do want to go out and get a linebacker, there's other guys out there on the market personally, like that you could potentially sign. Yes, they might not be true middle linebackers like Vander Esch, but I'm going to sit here and say no, I don't think Denver should go out and trade for LVE. But what about this question? Will the Cowboys move on from their linebacker? I want you to type Y for yes or N for no. When he came out of Boise State, right? I mean, remember all the wolf howling, and I remember all these people, especially down here in Dallas, were like, man, we have one of the best linebackers in the league. And I was like, you know what? You kind of do. But now it's the neck injury. And any time a player, especially at the linebacker position, is dealing with a neck injury, I'm going to stay away from. So will the Cowboys try to trade him? Potentially. Will anybody trade for him? That still remains to be seen. Let's go to Dirty Birds territory. Most dark horse Super Bowl matchup for the upcoming NFL season. So the most dark horse matchup I could potentially think of, let's go with the Miami Dolphins out of the AFC going up against the Arizona Cardinals out of the NFC. How about that? Cardinals up against the Miami Dolphins. That's my dark horse prediction. What up, Mike Dibble? Hey, Mitch, do you think OBJ will have a comeback year? To be honest with you, it depends what do you consider a comeback year? Because last season, I believe he had 23 catches on 43 targets, 349 yards, and I want to sit here and say 3 touchdowns. I think those are the numbers off the top of my head. So is he going to have a better year than that? Yes, absolutely, especially if he can stay healthy. However, OBJ is still, to me, a receiver that is grossly overrated, and we still look at him. Wow, look at me. I was so close. Dang it. Those are his numbers, 319 yards. But we still remember OBJ, the crazy catch and all this stuff that he did for the Giants. The chemistry between him and Baker isn't 100% there. He's still a very talented receiver, but his days of being a top 10 guy, I personally believe, are very much over. But hey, what do I know? Let's go to the next question here on NFL Daily. Jeremiah, will the Ravens sign Justin Houston? So in an article written by Bleacher Report, there was a fun little thing that's like, hey, one move that every single NFL team should make. They said that the Baltimore Ravens should go out and sign Justin Houston. Do I think it makes sense? Yes, I do, for the simple fact of you could teach somebody like Odafe Owe, who Justin Houston would be a great role model for him. Plus, you lost Matthew Judon. So if I was Baltimore, yeah, if I had the money, I'd go out and do it. Now, if I missed your question on today's show, you can either go ahead and yell at producer Sam on Twitter at SamBrownCS, or you can hit me up on Instagram at Mitchell Renz 365. If you also want to hit me up on Twitter, that's a possibility as well. But I actually prefer people hit me up on IG. It's easier for me to keep all my questions in one area. It's also easier for me to see which people are watching our shows and when. So, if you have a question, if you want to talk to me, if you want to see what's going on in my daily life, always hit me up. IG, the DMs, they are open at Mitchell Renz 365. All right, let's go to the next question here. Robert Bruce. Hey there, Mitch. Hello, Sam. Hi, Jeremy. Wondering, do you think the Patriots need to step it up or for a deep ball threat, or is Nelson Agholor enough, please? Agholor is a really interesting prospect. Do I think that New England overpaid for him? Yes, I absolutely do. However, he did a phenomenal job last year for the Raiders. Had 8 touchdowns, 47 catches, 847 yards, I believe, off the top of my head. He really showed that he had the ability to go down the field. The biggest issue with Agholor was the concentration and the drops. If he didn't have a few drops for the Raiders, he would have been over 1,000 yards and probably 10, maybe 11 touchdowns. But I still believe that New England needs to find another receiver, especially with their quarterback situation. All right, Jason. What player on the Seahawks do you think will have a breakout year? So a breakout year for a player on the Seahawks. Let's go. man, their defense is pretty set. Poona Ford, DJ Reed could be a guy to keep in mind. I almost want to say Poona Ford because not enough people really appreciate how great that guy is. I mean, he's one of the most underappreciated defensive tackles in the entire league. So I'll throw his name out there. But offense is pretty much set. The running back is pretty much set. So, yeah, let's go with a guy like DJ Reed. Let's go to Tom Downey burner account. Which NFL coach is the first to get fired this season? So I believe the latest odds have Mike McCarthy, funny enough, as the most likely to end up getting fired. I'm going to sit here and go with Vic Fangio for the simple fact of this. If, let's just say, the Bears come out and they stink, and then they try to go with Justin Fields, or the Broncos, they come out and they stink. Drew Lock's not very good, Teddy Bridgewater's not very good, and they didn't make a move for Aaron Rodgers, that could make a lot of things. So I'm going to go ahead and say Vic Fangio.